Assemble, dear friends, and welcome back to Pillow Pasta. And with Marvel churning out smash hit after smash hit, even of some of their less known characters, while DC can't even get their main lineup right, you gotta ask yourself, how well do you really know Earth's mightiest heroes? Well, apparently not very well, as we'll soon delve into the real factual story of each member of the Avengers team in tonight's story, The Avengers: Truth.
Doubtless you've heard of the comic book superhero team, The Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. Sadly, in reality, none of these individuals ever truly met, and their actual stories have yet to be revealed. For now, I will only tell you those of the most well-known.
So that's a no to the depressing retelling of the origin of the Bi-Beast.
Captain America was indeed created through an experimental super soldier serum, although this was comprised of a unique mixture of steroids and a regenerating agent that constantly recreated the serum within his bloodstream. The serum enhanced his body, but left his mind damaged, leaving him little more than a killing machine.
And this story was written before Winter Soldier and Civil War. Stealing all the good ideas, are we, Marvel?
He was the ideal weapon of the US military, secretly responsible for a mass murder in Germany that led to the Nazis surrendering and Adolf Hitler's suicide. However, the captain himself was killed, shot like a rabid dog by the US government, out of fear that one day he would become too powerful to control. The comic books are mere propaganda that exists even to the modern day, as a preservation of the captain's image as the ultimate patriot.
I'm just assuming this was all taken directly from Hillary's deleted emails.
Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, a brilliant inventor, was portrayed as a playboy who flaunted himself. In truth, he was an extremely introverted individual whose sole company was his assistant, Pepper Potts.
And in reality, she was a frying pan.
He built weapons and sold them to the US military due to feeling that he himself could do nothing for his country. His alcoholism, the fact that was left in his comic book portrayal, brought about the end of his life via liver poisoning. His last invention, a suit of powered armor, was left unfinished as he collapsed while working on it. This is why in the comic books there are so many versions of the Iron Man suit, as a final design was never produced.
But the biggest shocking reveal in this segment was finding out his name actually was Tony Stank.
Thor was cast from his home in Asgard.
Just a reminder, this is the real factual story of the Avengers. Norse gods and everything.
But his powers were never returned, for his deeds went beyond those of merely arrogant behaviour. The entire realm of Jotunheim was destroyed by the Asgardian prince, its people left as broken bodies due to Thor's insane bloodlust and paranoia. His father Odin was so horrified by the carnage that his son left in his wake, that banishment was the only punishment he could think of without lowering himself to Thor's level.
Be honest, Odin, the real reason you banished him is because you weren't invited back for Thor Ragnarok.
The deprivation of his powers eventually led to a more clear mind, and Thor felt nothing but shame and remorse for his actions. During a thunderstorm, Thor leapt to his death, and his soul was sent to sleep in hell for all eternity. His hammer, Mjolnir, still remains within the Asgardian palace as a symbol of shame.
Oh god, did the feminists take over Asgard? Walk past this symbol of manliness, males of Asgard, and every time you do, hate yourselves!
While he did indeed suffer the wrath of an abusive father, gamma radiation had nothing to do with the Hulk's creation. Instead, Bruce Banner was born a malformed child, growing to a large size but retaining a brilliant mind that sadly was never put to good use.
So the Hulk is actually the smart version of Sloth from the Goonies?
He accidentally killed a woman after pushing her out of the way of a speeding vehicle, accidentally snapping her neck. The authorities hunted and hounded him until Bruce finally decided to retaliate, fighting and fighting until his body finally gave out. He was killed by an overzealous soldier named Emil Blonsky, who shot him in the heart. Later, proof was revealed that Banner was only trying to save the woman he killed. However, Blonsky did not regret killing him, stating that it was nothing more than a job, albeit one he enjoyed. This statement led many to dubbing Blonsky as the Abomination, who was portrayed in the comics as a far more monstrous creature than the Hulk himself.
Oh, it's pretty cool we have some villain reveals as well. Is it going to turn out that Galactus was just an observatory owner who had a bad eating habit?
Natalia Romanoff, known to her enemies as the Black Widow, was raised during the Cold War, fighting and running almost her entire life. So it only made sense that she became an assassin. However, the torment of constantly fighting left her damaged, and she became a merciless killing machine.
And now, Putin's email scandal.
She continued until she was given a contract to murder an innocent child. Somehow, a change of heart overtook the cold-blooded assassin, and instead, she took a knife and butchered her employer. And then, in her despair, turned the knife on herself, tired of spilling blood. In the comic books, her psychopathic tendencies are never shown, and this is all hidden from the record after her death.
So it makes perfect sense for this person who was all but erased from history to be popular enough to have a comic book character made out of her?
These individuals are linked by death, dying either by suicide or by the authorities. That's why, in their idealized, brightened comic book alter egos, they unite as a team. The comics themselves are a way of giving these sad individuals a second chance, in a reality that may or may not exist.
And if you're wondering what happened to Hawkeye's origin story in this thing, it was far too graphic to reveal in this story. But let's just say it involves a donkey, 2 tubs of butter, and a Mexican midget. Well, see you next time, everybody.